part 2 of our lovely adventure. Anyways, we got ourselves some basic equipment relatively early in our adventure. So we got a few places we can go. I think what we're going to do is we're going to finish off Hyde's Tower. Because why not? Not in a hurry. I'm actually taking my time. So I could go to No Man's Wharf, but we're actually not going to. Unfortunately, my microphone is out, which is really sad. So we gotta go through this next area. That's... Oh, this I thought that this area would actually be easier, but apparently it's not. So we'll just start off at the beginning of the Tower of Flame. Although this area is probably going to be nasty. I got the Hyde Knights coming after me now. How aggressive these guys are. See, this right here is what makes this particular game so interesting. When you look at the Hyde Knights, funny because I am remembering exactly why it is this game had such a bad reputation for being mean. I think I'm actually going to take a break on Hyde's Tower of Flame and just go up through this area. Although this area has its own issues, it's going to be a little bit better for me than Hyde's Tower of Flame. The problem with Hyde's Tower of Flame at this juncture in time is the terrain is not to my favor. With this area, the trick is you want to get to the point where it gets you to the area. Stab him back. this area has its own issues. If I remember correctly, there's beasts that have a very high damage resistance. See, it's like the ghosts make it even more nerve-wracking. Like, you know they're ghosts. You know they can't hurt you. But they look too much like the ghosts that are trying to hunt you here. This is a good place. You get some weapon upgrade materials here. Some good ones, too. Now we gotta find out where that bonfire is. There's a bonfire. This area having some stuff in it that makes it a bit of a challenge. Yeah, they fucking hit like a truck, too. This game's version of the Beast Man, they just hit hard. funny because they hit really hard. Oh, let's see. Titanite, that's good. So the trick with this... To go down there, there's a different way to do it. I would need to get another fragrant branch of yore, though.
Bearer, seek the lest.
Time to level the fuck up. So we get 2 points. We're gonna put more points in. Hooray! Bigger. That's the truth. So I could do that, or I could send a little. Oh, I don't know. Go into the basement. What will happen? The skeletons will try to kill me. That's why spears are fucking awesome. Another Estus flask shard. I've straight up doubled my flasks. And soul vessel. Not a lot of people be getting their asses kicked by skeletons. Sands and papyrus be running a train on those fools. Chosen violence, pigs will get what pigs deserve. Alright, I should have put those points in strength, but I'm a dummy.
Oh, undead are we? And one without much time remaining. Just about ready to fall apart, I'd say. Not exactly the time to be chatting with a cat. Well, oh yes. You may... So. Ooh, you smell.
Okay, so I get that. I get that. I get that. I get that.
Nothing suited you, I presume? Well, that's dismaying. Is that a shard you found? Here, to see light, to see it, however faint it might.
So she can upgrade my flask. So I can fit more yellow drink. So how many souls do I need? 2,360. Only one total determination. That claymore, so souls pretty fast. I also got a dark stone and a bleed stone. That's cool. I can't remember if he used stuff. Oh no, it's
Bear seek, lest this.
He's the one who upgrades that sort of stuff. Getting to McDuff's workshop is a giant pain in the ass. Besides, I'd have to go back to the forest to follow the giants and kill the pursuer. It's kind of a bastard. For this character is I want to get me a parry machine. This game, I suppose, is the game that most embodied the Souls mentality of Ginga. Because the game forces you to be very careful with how you position. When I play Elden Ring, some of the encounters are really nasty. But I also feel like most of them are trivialized through rote memorization. I feel like it's less so with good old Dark Souls 2. Like, you look at Elden Ring Night Rain, and you're just slaying trash mobs by hundreds easily now. I mean, I've finally printed the first of these dudes to extinction. mean, I've taken a slow and steady wins the race approach to this. But I will say that area was kind of hairy when you had the regular first mode there, along with
lest this
hard knights. Really, though, this game does punish people when they try to hard push unless they have good gear. Hide knights. A lot of the times, you'll think that you're out of the way of an attack. The thing I really liked in the early days of this was low HP PvP. In the early days, before everybody figured out that the secret was just pump bigger, you would have these duels where like, the first person to get hit with it. And everybody would think that it was a game of like, if you make one mistake, it's over. Until they realize, oh, just level vigor, let's go. Apparently, if you just level vigor, you're unstoppable. Day, it's Dark Souls 2, I believe, that had the best system for replayability. I know what I need to get for this character. Au revoir. No lie though, when you it's technically called a great sword, but it's really just essentially the sword from Berserk at that point. Which is really just the Final Fantasy VII sword. They're essentially the same damn sword. But yeah, it's like that weapon can ruin some things. It can tear through these giant knights pretty quick too. Remember, the debate in this game is always strength versus attacks.
lest this
what I found is that strength is superior for if you're fighting large monsters, but it also has trouble with agile monsters, but in PvP it was shit. If you did a good build on strength for PvP, it's like you could just tank anything that your opponent threw at you. Howdy, viewer. I just won a duel. I'm pretty low level. I'm absolutely... like, this is an absolutely new character. Trying to... pretty epic duel. He had a great sword and poked him with a channeler's trident. I'm trying to level up so he can hopefully getting through no man. Maybe more. It's awesome playing Dark Souls 2 again because I find that this is really the best Dark Souls. A lot of people will be like, oh, Dark Souls 2 is the worst Dark Souls ever. Well, those people lie to you. Because you guys have to done in Dark Souls 2. Like, this whole game basically just has it out if you're not smart. Like, there's a lot of ambushes and whatnot. This kind of area, you want to get through it quickly. Well, it punishes you for trying to get through quickly. Every level in this game punishes you for trying to rush through. Like, you try to get through the locked door. You're not supposed to get greedy. But yeah, it's like, people will always kind of be like, oh, Dark Souls 3 was where it was at. No, Dark Souls 3 was not where it was at. The PvP in Dark Souls 3 was shit. And I also like the slower, more methodical pacing of Dark Souls 2. It can be faster if you got the right gear. Even then, the faster you go, the more you're kind of pushing your luck. I really should put adaptability, but I also need strength for playing, so adaptability. I have to play like a big brain person for a second. Not doing it. My stupid time. So this next area gets a little hairy because you got 3 of those guys and a Hive Knight. And if you're not smart, you guys will run a train out. What's really insidious about this map is how they've planned it so that you gotta be careful. You can't just roll around. Holy fuck. Oh, that's a fun map. This area gets all carried. You got a dragon sitting at the end of it. You gotta get through without dying to the dragon. Dying to all this shit too. Damn! But at least I'm already hollow, so it's not like I'm gonna look like a hollow person, because I already look like a hollow person. I'm actually slowly going hollow in real life. I'm we're seeing soon I'll look like the Crypt Keeper. I'll be like 60 years old if I even make it to 60. See, like mixed as to whether I should continue to do hides, because hides gets a little boring. I could go straight to the No Man's Work. I'm also thinking I should kill Ornstein and pursue before I go that road. Before I do the Pursuer, I want to get the parrying shield so I can parry the Pursuer. It looks silly. If I do get like a good character in this, I'm not going to be as ruthless as I was on PS4 with like PvP. I'll not use overpowered weapons and set people on fire with Great Chaos Fireball 50 like I used to. I'll be a nicer invader. Because the first person who invaded me, they had better equipment, but I didn't let them just kill me, so they just jumped off the map. And it was very... I felt kind of like... Well, it's like when you're under leveled and someone invades you, it's like, oh shit, I don't have anything, I got like a dagger, you know? It's a little nerve-wracking. I actually had a short sword, to be fair. It wasn't like I was completely and totally useless, but it was like a plus nothing short sword. It's the same plus nothing short sword that I've got in my equipment right now. As far as what I've got a plus 4 Channeler's Trident. Because I got a Channeler's Trident off of Petrified something. In this case, I'm going to see if I can run through this, although I have absolutely 0 endurance. Well, not absolutely 0. That's literally untrue, but functionally true. My dude has the capacity of, like, an Iraq War veteran, smoked, like, 20 cigarettes after every IED, which is, like, too many cigarettes. I'm gonna die. Funny. Oh my Christ, I haven't laughed from something this wholesomely funny in a long time. There's 3 of them. Has increased. infinite percents. I die again. Here we go. I got an idea. Howdy, viewer. I'm trying not to get murdered by the dragon. That totally has happened twice. It's not so much the dragon, it's all of these. Not work as well as I thought. But Dark Souls 2 is a pain. See, this is what I was talking about with rushing Dark Souls 2. If you try this, this is what happens. You end up getting the entire level running a train on you at once. Anyways, this is what we're going to do. We're going to use an effigy. And we're going to stop playing like a dumb person. And we're going to play this game at the pace that it demands. That's what a lot of people don't get with this wonderful game. Is you can't rush this unless you start off with plus 10 minutes. I mean, I suppose there are people who speedrun that sort of thing, but I'm not them. I'm not good enough at this game to speedrun it in 2 hours or something. Unless I'm starting off with like a fully geared character. The most ambitious thing I ever did was I got a level 50 character to New Game Plus 3. I got Great Chaos Fireball on it. No, PS4. Keep like confusing the PS2 and the PS4 because, you know, like, 2 goes into 4 twice, and both of those consoles were fucking awesome. I had some good PS2 days as well. PS2 had wonderful games. The coolest third-person shooter I've ever played. As far as like what it was going for, you know, it was like a seamless blend of martial arts and fire. It was pretty cool. But it was also like done in the PS2 era, so it had its flaws. The controls were about as unintuitive as controls get. I should probably learn how to use magic with this dude. Man, not like anything with an investment though. I'll go with pyromancy. It's like, at the end of the day, well, it's like kind of a weird thing, I would say, in certain games. I've never really been a fan of being a caster, not even an Elden Ring. I've always found that incantations are the best unless you go pyromancy, because pyromancy requires a lot of an investment or in faith or and if I wanted to be like a really lame person, I'd just make a dark build like I did in the old days, where I just run around with like a hexer's hood and I just kill everything with dark magic. Stereotypical, actually. But that's really kind of not my MO either. I'm more of a melee kind of guy. I'm definitely playing Stalker. Yep, I use the human effigy for that. My lord. Low IQ move. Like literally negative IQ point. I don't even know if this is a good move because it takes away durability from this thing, and it's gonna be cutting it close to weapon durability. Some life gems in case I want to make an ambitious and sustained run through this area. I try to use them sparingly. This area is just it's attrition now. I'd be like super into what soul level my characters were. You needed characters to be within a certain like cooperative or to like playing this game with a friend. It was like no small endeavor. Everybody had to keep track of how many souls they had. You had to like basically put your dude on a diet. There's even a rank in this game where it'll stop you from gaining souls and it won't count any souls gained towards your total souls. It's really helpful if you're trying to not make a character that's like a level 150. But it does take up a which is a little sad. upgraded Claymore, that might do even more against some of these enemies. The Channeler's Trident's okay, but I remember min-maxing a lot on PS4, and the Channeler's Trident really isn't where it's at. It's just kind of what I got early on when I gave the birds a petrified something.
Bear, seek, lest this...
Seek, lest. Alright. 18 strength. At 18 strength, I should be able to two-hand a flame. I could also use the fireball, so let's see. There we go. Yeah. It's only +1, but maybe we can get it to 1. We got 8 titanium shards, that's pretty cool. And it's CC scaling? Heck yes. So, 8, 10.
I'll be around.
I can do this. So, swing this because I got... 10,000. That's cool. 10,000 smackaroos. You gotta be less offensive, which is a hard thing because I'm pretty much wired to be offensive. I've broken all the rules. Every single rule you're not supposed to break, I have broken it.
I'll be around.
Well, not every single rule. Every single rule regarding subjects.
Bear, seek, lest this...
I can't say that I feel bad. 'Cause at the end of the day, people are too easily offended. And I would say that society is worse off. It might be considered a provocative opinion to some, but I think it's pretty reasonable. The best humor is humor that you're not supposed to laugh at. So when someone goes, "You're not supposed to laugh at that," well, that's why I'm laughing. You know, that's the joke. Yeah, that's the joke with humor. You got to be over the line. Because if you're not over the line, then you're not funny. And a person could say, well, you know, the line exists for a reason. Yes, and I would say that's because funny. My lord. I mean, it doesn't automatically make it funny. There's some jokes. Some jokes are not funny. But most jokes are funny because you're not supposed to say it. Just say it. That's what I think. Both the wrong and the right seem to not get. Ah, that's right. This thing has really good R2. Your screen even shakes when you use it. It's not good. He's pretty. It looks pretty cool with the aromatic use on it. The thing is, though, is if I had like an ice ranger or something, I can poke him like 4 times, and the time that it takes me to go like, still, we're gonna go with it. We're gonna get through this area. being low level, man, you can't just rush through everything like you can if you've got like 3 copies of every single thing. But honestly, I like it this way. Because by not having 2 copies of every single item and like an entire inventory of like every single thing, it makes everything feel like you earned it. And that is what makes this game so awesome. It makes, like, it's the feeling of earning something that makes this game great. Once you have everything, life sucks. I imagine life is probably no different. Imagine with life, once you have like 10 bajillion dollars, you're just kind of like, my lord, what else is like, buy more shit? I mean, think about it. Let's just say you had like every single consumer item you could ever want in the world. Well, what a pickle that is. Are you really going to use all those waffle irons? All those food processors? And if you are, like, hopefully you're going to feed them instead of eating. But, humble opinions, right? All I'm saying is if I had more money than everybody in the world, I'd at least try to do something good with it. See, I like the Claymore more than the Chandler's Trident, because I can do solid damage to these big ones, which is really helpful. Gives me more range too. Out of me because it keeps changing my target to something that isn't a highlight. I know how I feel about it. It isn't good. Damn, my whole life is set. Only it would have let me just target the high knight like a normal person. I'll get through this. See, Dark Souls 2 is a game that's all about getting. It's like that game Get Nowhere, where you're like the man in a pot with like some sort of like an axe or a hoe, you gotta get around the terrain. I never played that game. It looked like my type of game. It really just kind of like frustrating. The same idea. And other news, part of the reason I'm redoing this is so I can get some more inspiration for the 3D modeling. I'm trying to perfect the techniques of 3D modeling, and it's kind of hard. I'm like working on a few prototypes of a model. The big issue I got with the current model I'm working on is I've got loops going places I don't want to, but I'm trying to like reconcile some stuff that I 3D modeled earlier with the tutorial. Basically, I've got this tutorial for 3D modeling I went through, but I don't like the model. There are parts of the model I don't like. For instance, for the feet, I don't have toes. I just have like a blocked foot where there are no toes. But it like roughly takes the shape of a foot, and it looks good for the purposes of say like a silhouette. If I converted the blocks to boots, it looked pretty reasonable. And I'm kind of like in between, like, because I've also modeled out a foot that has the toes, but the problem is the foot that has the extra toes loops. It has more loops than the actual leg on my original model. And so it's like I gotta figure out if I'm gonna take away loops from the body of my model. But then my hand's the same too. I got like a certain amount of loops on this hand that I've modeled out. And then the tutorial that I've ran on has a different, less articulated hand than what I got. And it has less loops on the arm. Or more, I can't remember. But basically, I've got like loop mismatches on the model that I'm trying to perfect resolve because I want to make a perfect 3D model. I want to start making my own crappy Souls game with like more of a modern influence. And then maybe one day I'll be able to make video games. But it still seems a long ways. You could say, well, what are you doing playing Dark Souls 2? Well, sometimes you gotta take breaks. I've been kind of no-lifing it, and it's hard work. Trying to internalize geometry is not the most exciting work in the world. As far as like Elden Ring Night Rain goes, I've gotten to Deep of Night 4 in that, but like trying to get to Deep of Night 4 during the week is a little rough. It's the best people play. And for this game, the biggest challenge for getting back into Dark Souls 2 was that I had to go into Windows Device Manager and hide one of the controllers on my system because the controller priority kept getting screwed up, and so it kept like not detecting my controller, or if it did, what it would do is it would do some weird shit where like the camera would automatically spin around in circles. It was one of the most frustrating things to get your controller to work in this way. I think would be extremely hard, you know, universal control interfaces and whatnot. Anyways, here we are. So, hell yes, this guy is one of my troubles. Check it out. This is one of those cases where I can use anything at my disposal. Because one thing I notice is that I have this habit in games like this of not ever using my items. I just used all of my good shit. Alright. Well, here's the deal. Not all of it. Enough of it to mean that this is going to be harder than I wanted to. Get my souls back and try to do the way I'm doing this is not working. So I can continue dicking around on Hyde's Tower. This is what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna try and get my souls back, and maybe, just maybe, I can get to. Oh, this guy's coming. That's cool. I mean, I could just finish hunting these guys to extinction. That would be kind of sad. I thought I'd be able to just do it real easy. I underestimated the difficulty of this section of the game. We are going to go to No Man's Wharf and do that next. Although No Man's Wharf is notorious for having its own set of issues. I mean, I'm talking like you just casually go to No Man's Wharf. Imagining the Lord of the Rings is not simply just walk through No Man's Wharf. This is the area that has all the dark monsters that'll get all mad when you put a torch near them. I might even find another Estus shard. No Man's Wharf is not horrible. Not that I'm really big into halberds. I'm too slow for them. Plus, in close quarters, they just suck. I don't know why, but I remember something in this area not nice. It's weird too, because I've also got like New Game Plus on the brain from past playthroughs. Gas. What have we got here? Bone dust. That's how you make your Estus flask stronger. It's the dust of bones. I remember being like, yeah, if there's one game I could just forget and play again, it would be Dark Souls 2. Beautiful game. It's weird though, because now that I'm learning how to 3D model, I'm trying to learn how a lot of their optical illusions and other tricks go. 'Cause I'm trying to make stuff that's of decent quality eventually. Problem is like people are so tuned into human faces. See, like, this game, the reason I like it more than other Souls games is because of the level design and enemy placement. It's just enemies are more basic. They place the enemies in ways very creative, and that will catch you off guard. You'll think you're safe, they'll get you. Totally gonna wear his helmet. That's how you remember your enemies. I'm killing you where your boots. I remember this area being hilarious on my old school level 50 character because there's like all sorts of monsters that just kind of like jump. But I had like a lightning infused pistol. My current obstacle in level design, besides the fact that I'm focusing more on designing characters, is that I always get terrain pieces that I make. It's kind of I would like to sculpt out terrain pieces in ZBrush, and then use those like rocks and such. Put these like gigantic square dopey hitboxes around everything and you'll clip into it without even like being close to it and stuff.
What is it? I don't know you. You don't know me.
Oh, look at you. It's been a minute since I've seen that bird face.
Normally, people keep a safe distance when they see this mask. I'm called Luke, from the land of Mira to the far east. They say Drang Lake brims with powerful, and so I came to... But what a strange place. You are an odd one indeed. Well, you've made a point of it. I can see that you are mid-journey. I come from Mira, Allah, don't hesitate.
She's cool.
You are an odd one indeed. Well, you've made... I can see that... don't...
I am a Varangian. I gotta wear his cuffs too. Come from the land of Varangia, where good fathers teach their children so that they become strong. You must have leggings too. You gotta be a fashionable Varangian. In Varangia, the children begin drinking at the age of 4. It toughens them up, you know? You gotta make sure that their liver can handle the high-proof grain alcohol when they become adults. So you gotta start them young. I can't help but think of the scene in South Park where one character was talking about how he fucking hates guard dogs. Whenever I see the guard dogs in this level, they're nasty if they get you right. That's because in the rank, we take our dogs and feed them the bodies of our enemies. Perhaps it was not a joke about Varangians in my native land that caused this person to leave. I don't know, man. All I know is that in Varangia, it's high-proof grain alcohol that makes us strong. All Varangians are barbarians that drink high-proof grain alcohol. Just because some of them do doesn't mean they all do. I know that there have been reports of Varangians going around the countryside all Varangians in such a pejorative manner. Oh, there's a
Who you? I. Gavlan. Gavlan. What? With Gavlan?
Sell some broken straight swords. Sell another broken thief sword. We want one of each item.
Gavlan. What? With Gavlan?
And then he gives poisoned items.
Many deal. Many thanks.
I was doing a pretty good job there. I just didn't realize that I was going to get hit by every single variety. It's impressive. I had big plans. This is the best. right there. It's kind of funny how if you let them in your garden, absolutely. I'm so accustomed. How do you? I've learned that I've become so accustomed to the range of the Varangians that I've underestimated them when they get in my guard because they will apparently fuck your day up if you're not careful. As a Varangian, I should know not to underestimate. I should not have missed. But I've actually been filling in the lore of the Varangians. I've determined that they feed their resources of their enemies, and they start drinking hard grain alcohol at about the age of 4. Now, some people could say that this is a stereotypical thing, since not all Varangians act this way. That is being a racist, but this is just my observations of their culture thus far. Plus, I am. These guys are puppy. It's not nice. It's a pizza and grape soda. Two of those things in a row, like thinking I was hot shit until I started pupping. Because there's like 4 of them. And I thought Gavlon was like a trapped chest and a regular chest. But as I see it, there is no reason to go in there. It's not really profitable. Chugging my Estus. And I shouldn't be. But I got through that relatively. This area is really easy. See, over there, I thought I was doing well until I got mobbed by 4 of those Varangian bastards. Then there was these guys just like sleeping off the night of the grain alcohol. This isn't really a very important thing about it. See, this is like but I mean, to be fair, I didn't interrupt their hangovers. I should be able to upgrade my flamethrower. My lord. I didn't realize it, but poison is nasty in Dark Souls 2. Absolutely rude. My life bar was dropping like the economy. Got a fragrant branch of yore, that's pretty nifty. Do I have anything that I can use to smash these without getting smashed? I guess I'll have to do that. Because I gotta get my souls back. Get my souls back. Fight a whole bunch of Varangians. There's Varangians up in this place. Everywhere you go. I'm surprised by their numbers. They start dropping off of the roof. And just when you think you're safe, you're not in fact safe. Drop down there though, otherwise I'm not trying to get eaten by guard dogs. Ah, repair powder, that's nice. Set of Varangian armor? No, it's brick armor, but still. I think it is. Either way, look at me. Varangian. I remember dying so many times I could go straight for the boat, but I'm not sure it's really wise. But I'm going to do it anyways. Well, I mean, okay. Actually, it is the way, because I could just use a repair powder. I don't have any Estus, but use me a repair powder. Nice. Unfortunately, I didn't do a full restore. We're gonna kick the bridge down so we get the shortcut after we get rid of these dudes down here. Thought there were more of them. It's stay in cold murky water and freeze your nuts off shift or something. Could get Bradley the old garden.
I see light, but it remains dim. I am Carillion, and I've no interest.
He's like, you're a retard.
I
Go
see
somewhere
light.
else.
I am Carillion.
Sorry, guy. I don't take retarded students. Yeah, I'm at practically like Trump supporter at this point. But I'm a fucking Varangian. You know, Varangians aren't known to be intelligent, not to be a racist. Like, Varangian philosophy is drink, fight, and fuck, you know. That's what they do. They're really
Bearer.
She's a little slow. She's slower than me, and I have 6 intelligence. Alright, we're gonna reinforce it.
I'll be around if you make it back.
Bearer of the seek soul, seek the king, lest this land's
Look at these wonderful students. Time to get me some adaptable. Stat that new players are performance are going good. remember this boat can get fucking hairy. I don't remember why it was hairy. But I remember it being hairy. We got these guys. Kind of slow. These guys. Oh, that's a fucking asshole. I thought I'd be fine when that fucker hit me with the very edge of his attack. It stunned me. That's why Dark Souls 2 is the best Dark Souls, is because you die to shit like that. Man, you go straight from fucking A-OK to dead pretty fast in this game. You got like sword. I don't even want to know what this guy's jumping. That's just the way we live. Shit. Might as well just round it out. Can I even roll? Hell yes. Locked on, it's like oh, this is where we get our pyromancy. So we're going to use some dark pines. And hope that do not hit fireballs. I just want you to admire this animal. Like, this enemy is fucking cool because no matter what angle you hit it, animatic, which is why I love the model. It's also kind of goofy and really like side of the ship we're trying to go on. I guess we'll find out. Helms. I got a pyromancy flame. I love a pyromancy. Fire. This area, you can get unalived if you're unwise. Hopefully I won't be unwise. Actually, I think if I use this, I become a real boy. That would restore my health. I'm wrong. Valuable lesson. There's a bourbon flavored coffee innovation. I'm gonna try not to shill a particular company, but goddamn, bourbon flavored coffee is amazing. I like it as much as hazelnut coffee, which is crazy because hazelnut is kind of my favorite coffee. Well, it used to be until I tried bourbon coffee. This area can get really mean. Way more mean than the vast majority of it, if I remember correctly. Thinking I'm playing Elden Ring now. I can't let me look at the fire. It's super sad. I do have the flexile sentries, although I can't remember what those ones are.
Bearer of seek lesson.
See, what I can't wait to do is get me a katana, and then I'll just be my usual ninja ass. I just run around, chase things down with a katana. The manslayer is probably one of my favorites in this game because you can poison things.
I've stocked some new. They've been selling. Well.
What's this guy sell? I know that if you buy enough stuff, you get cool armor. My favorite armor, and it's really tacky, it's the moonlit butterfly armor, because then you can just poison everybody that you're around. And you can just be this horrible,
Thanks very
mischievous
much.
butterfly of
Do
death.
come again.
Well, I think I can fight others. I'm like perfect level. I think that if I'm right, this shield lets me parry. And if I can parry, then I can just make them pursue. Apparently, not good. There we go. So good at this video. Here we go. But I'm not careful, he's just gonna kill me and take my sword. Get ready for the kick-ass cutscene. Well, it's not really a cutscene, it's a true sense. perch spot now. He's not going to stay here, which is super sad. I was so close. I got greedy. And my timing was a little fucked up. I'm not a real boy anymore. Life is sad. beating the pursuer on the first try. I feel like I'm so vain. Well, since we're gonna have to fight the pursuer the other way. See, those guys are interesting as far as basic mobs go. Because they have a lot of bullets and HP. If I had basic bitch stuff, and I suppose when you get down to it, that's what separates Dark Souls 2 from, say, Final Fantasy VII. In Final Fantasy VII, the vast majority of Shinra trash mobs are just that. They are trash mobs. Like, you could literally solo, like, like you could literally take out, like, 10,000 of them without breaking a sweat. In this game, even basic mobs have essentially, like, threat value. You know, it takes resources to get through them if you're not careful. This guy is so badass. He's just basically like, I'm gonna fuck your life. They even have red eyes. That's scary. That's the second time in a row. I'm gonna get to the end of the game and not have any effigies left. I'm gonna be like, oh, there's some effigies. Will perform adult favors for human effigies. Then they'd look at my teeth and be like, fuck you, you're hollow. I'd rather hang out with a lot wizard. See, this area is diabolical because they're like... You know you're gonna do it. I don't want to take unnecessary. Nah, these guys are really shit. Thought that guy was gonna kill King fucking Ventric in a second. If I can survive this encounter here. Opportunity. One is to survive this. Also, I should use the sublime moments. Alright. There we go. Do this again. Well, no, it's not. And I got the ring of blades. The ring of blades for the king of blades. Alright. place is fucking cool. See, this is another thing that's really interesting about this game. So there's all these like secret entrances to other parts of the map. It makes the game straight up awesome. Anyways, speaking of awesome, I'm about ready to show you
Is that a shark? Here, to see,
the most
however.
awesome place. Not the most awesome place, but the most awesome thing. It takes a while first. It might get me a pursuer's.
I knew Don't waste my time.
Taking a break from getting started. Background sounds in this area.
Thank you for helping me. I am Ornifex. I owe you some form of thanks, but have nothing for you at the moment. If it would not trouble you, could you visit my... Thank you. I believe that I can be of assistance if you would visit me in my home.
So the cool thing about Ornifex is that it's just unsettling. It's an unsettling creature. Speaking of unsettling, well, it's not unsettling so much. It's just the next boss is not the easiest either. It's funny because you can see how much influence Dark Souls 2 had on Elden Ring. In this area, the Beastmen are like... So these guys right here are a combination of two enemies. They're like the dudes that you always fight with the perfumers and this one's just disgusting. Beastmen in this one are just slower, but they do more damage. And Dark Souls 2, it seems like requires 30 strength. feel like a dumbass after that. I remember what you gotta do there. You gotta get the ring of whispers.
Oh. Oh, you do have a rather type. Satisfied? I'll be around if you ever come. Bearer of the curse. Seek souls. Larger, more powerful souls. Seek the king. That is the only way, lest this land swallow.
Check something out. So that's double C. Not horrible.
Oh, I'm here. You even were kind. The only thing I can offer is pyromancy. I'm always here.
So I don't have any achievement slots, which is sad for me.
This is no place for you. Are you not humans, Red? Those who do turn back when they see me. But you... We once had a master, but he was born with a fate. He resented those who had what he lacked and became fully mired in hatred. Eventually, it was at the peak of this madness that he conjured up we strange creatures. Our master was a tragically lonely soul. Eventually, his solitude eroded his very reason. In the end, he never understood what it was that he... Nobody knows when we were or where our master is. The only ones who even speak a human tongue are myself and my... I wished to... Once, I always found her at my side. She became violent, raging uncontrollably. Eventually, she came after me, and we have been locked in combat ever since. We seem to be at a standstill. I was born of my master's madness. I will be sure to assist. The past, my name was Targ. The past is... My name was...
That dude's like, I want a fucking divorce because my wife's a crazy biatch. Should I tell him that he should stay in his abusive and unhealthy marriage? Suck it up, Jesus. Or should I help him get a divorce? Since this is Dark Souls 2, it's pretty obvious what the answer to that question is. Scorpion targets who wants to know worse. So I'll invite him. Admitting you're a dumbass is the first step. we got Man Scorpion Tarka's divorce. This area. Can't get
it might be you. The longer I am here, a wretched place indeed, but not what could have caused such degradation. Ah, yes, I have not thanked. This is for you. Of course, I have no idea what. Our land of Mirror is surrounded by enemies. There is only one way up in Mirror. Joy, my family had little fortune and no name, with two things. I was raised to weak. Life was hard, but I never gave it. I had swift success on the battlefield, and then I came. Have you heard of the undead? An undead gradually loses his humanity. Finally, he turns hollow, and a hollow can never. One can skirt this wicked fate only with the help of the. Assuming, of course, that I can only hope. I'm sorry. I suppose I've grown weary. I'm sorry. I suppose I've.
So, hand that ember to me, right now. You've got stones, Henry. Give me stones.
So I've never really used bleed on a clone before. Let's try it.
Flee. Dear Flee.
See this here? It's awesome because it's a master class in level design. You gotta play smart. Lost Bastille is not a friendly place. This next area is pretty nasty. I think that the bigger picture here is that this weapon infusion sucks. And if I go and make this into a dark infusion, it'll probably do more damage. The way we're gonna do this.
Iota, flame, be gone. Flame. Dear flame.
So, we got a dark sword. Which will infuse it. To scale with my faith in intelligence. do the dark infusion on this is actually the way to go. This is the sort of shit that you have to deal with in Dark Souls too. You deal with the ledges, go off to nowhere. It trolls you. There's almost zero trolling in Elden Ring. Elden Ring basically is really obvious as to what's going to happen if you do things a certain way. Oh my fucking... That's such a stupid... That's hilariously stupid. Dark Souls 2 is a lot more like you hit your sword on a door and then you get whacked. That right there was luck. That's why we play this game. getting to them is bad enough than actually fighting these monsters. Alright. Well, it's been fun. But I think what I'm going to do is maybe take this shot. Maybe a little more of this, maybe. It all depends. I'll probably be doing more of this since this is